Hello, my name is Allen Hoffman. I'm a professor of mechanical engineering at WPI in Worcester, Massachusetts. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the concepts of reverse engineering. Initially, I will describe the area of reverse engineering. Then I will introduce a simple example, namely some household faucets, that demonstrate the principle of reverse engineering. There are some cautions regarding reverse engineering. Reverse engineering a patented device is illegal, and you can be prosecuted for that. On the other hand, an article or process that's protected by a trade secret can legitimately be reverse engineered. For example, Coca-Cola is protected as a trade secret, so anyone who is clever enough to figure out the ingredients of Coca-Cola could then go and market it, since it's not protected by a patent. What I will do next is undertake a very simple example of reverse engineering. And what I have as a device is just a common outdoor faucet, usually found so that we can connect a garden hose to this end of the faucet. So this is usually mounted to the outside of the house. There are other varieties of faucets. For example, here's an inline faucet, which would be used to shut off the water flow in a pipe where water or some other fluid is coming from this direction to my left, your right. Now, the first step in reverse engineering is to carefully examine the device and determine how it works. In doing that, you then create a statement as to the purpose of the device and the aspects of the device that have to do with its functionality. So once you've described how it appears to work, then you begin to develop a set of more or less design specifications as to what are the ingredients that make it work, or what are the functions it needs to work, and then we'll begin to take this object apart and determine how each individual part contributes to its overall functionality. So if we take the faucet, basically any faucet, it is a means of controlling the flow of a liquid, which could be air or water or gasoline or any of a number of liquids. And in our particular case, that control of, in the case of the outdoor faucet, water needs to be controlled by a manual means. And what we see here is the handle, which allows us to open or close the faucet. Now, there are other kinds of faucets that would have a different operational characteristic. One might be operated by a lever. We might have one operated similarly by turning a knob, but it would lower a gate valve, a valve that would cut off the water flow here. In this particular valve, as you'll see, we have a different type of arrangement for controlling the flow of liquid. Now, this needs to be attached to some conduit that carries the liquid. Even with these two simple devices, which are used primarily in the home for controlling the flow of water, the attachment is different. At this end of the device, we see a threaded female receptacle to go on to the end of a pipe. And similarly, we see a male end here, which goes onto the hose. On this inline faucet, we have a different method. It's attached to water pipes on both ends, but we see it has a solder joint here. So even just in things that look the same, and have a similar function, the actual embodiment of the device can be quite a bit different. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to start to take this faucet, this one, apart and identify the individual parts. I've previously loosened all the components so that it will be easy and easy to disassemble. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the valve, which is the top part, and twist and remove it. It's threaded into the body of the faucet. So there's the body of the faucet. Again, the connection is threaded here, and in this valve the connection to the indoor plumbing is threaded over here, and obviously the outside connection to a hose is threaded. So there's the body of the faucet, and it has several functions. One, it holds everything together, provides the basis for holding it together. It also contains what is called a valve seat down here. It's manufactured so there's a ring inside here that the actual valve closes against. We'll put this piece out here. Then some of the aspects of this is the faucet shouldn't leak. So in essence, here's the stem of the valve that I'm moving here. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take off the handle, and this is held on by a screw. Take that off. And of course the purpose of this is to hold the handle on the valve stem. And that valve stem is square, and the receptacle end of the faucet handle is also square. So they match up. So now we've got each of these parts has that function. Now, the stem, one of the important things is the faucet can't leak, so the stem, there has to be a means of keeping the water, in this case the water, from coming up the stem and coming out in this region. So here we have a threaded nut. Now, there's actually two pieces I'm taking off, only one of which I will be able to display, but this is, the purpose of this piece is to seal the stem to the body of the faucet and prevent leaking. And so this is this threaded piece prevents, clamps down in this region, and there's a fiber washer inside, which may or may not be entirely visible, that seals the fitting onto this piece so it won't leak along the stem. So there's really two pieces there. If I take out the fiber washer, I may damage it, and therefore I'm not going to do that. That allows me now to unscrew the stem this way and get this piece, get two pieces. Well, there's more than one piece over here in my hand. And so this piece is the piece that holds the stem in place on the faucet over here. Now, we now look at what causes the valve to actually seal off the flow from the indoor plumbing out to out toward the hose connection. So what we have here is the valve stem, which really can be disassembled into three pieces. At the bottom of the valve stem is a rubber washer that's removable, and actually if this washer wears out can be easily replaced, and it's held in place by a screw. So what happens in the functionality functionality of the faucet is this rubber, called a faucet washer, not surprisingly, when you screw the valve down, it bears against the machine portion of the base, and that's how you seal off the water flow to the hose. So we can take that, quickly disassemble it, and it's made so that the faucet washer can be replaced if it wears out, and also if I were to take out the washer inside this piece, which seals along the stem, that's also replaceable. So if we count up the pieces, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That concludes this video.